Pauper tournament happening at Maplewood Fantasy Shop in St. Louis on the 25th. A high payout. It's kind of a warm up to this one. We will be giving a first round bye to whoever wins that tournament. I'm excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so this is the finals. We've seen both these guys now before. Casey Bedel on Demir, favorable Pirate wins, as it is now called. And Daniel Green on Demir Control, which we just saw. Who do you think's getting this?
Dan. I think Bill couldn't get there with aggro. I don't think Casey can, because his deck is kind of like an aggro-ish deck as well, but it's slightly slower. And if Dan can stabilize, I think it has the possibilities of getting there just like he did last time.
I would have to agree with you in that assessment. Sorry, I just had to make a quick change to the overlay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very
Oh,
cool.
Lance, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen you on stream a few times. That's awesome. Jason's a great dude. Love him. How did you do at Indy, by the way?
Yeah, let us know. Jason is the bee's knees.
Yeah.
Was it the Boros St. Louis playmat? That had
I
like
would
the
assume.
courthouse
It's either that
and
or
the arch, I would imagine.
I mean, we have
or
that.
like just the plain black, like we're seeing on stream here.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Gotta do something. Sorry, back. Yeah, so Moonbase has two.
You can see part of one of them at the top of our screen here. So the one that the players are playing on is the straight black with the giant logo. But above that, you can kind of see this kind of lava, fiery playmat. That's actually a tribute playmat to St. Louis and to the guilds. We're having a series of those done. It's going to be representing different notable landmarks of the St. Louis area that are either historical or recognizable.
Yeah.
And they're being converted by a artist who actually does Magic the Gathering art into the guilds. So we have Yinhao Han is the artist's name.
Yeah.
So we have a Boros guild here that is actually the old courthouse and St. Louis arch.
Boros Guild, not Boros?
And is
based on the Boros
based
Guild.
on Boros. Yeah. And thank you again for the notification about the flyer. We've deleted it from our cycle so that it won't say the wrong date.
There won't be any
anymore.
falsehoods
No
being given
false
out here
advertising,
at Moonbase
and
Market.
we'll get the right information up there on the flyer shortly.
Yeah, the St. Louis one.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of these. Han has done some really cool magic art. He did the entire enchantment artifacts god weapon cycle. Azor's Gateway and the land that's behind it is him. Really good, solid magic artist. I'm really glad.
Yep.
Also, I've seen a few like pieces so far. It's really cool stuff. Like we're getting the one currently is the arch in Capitol Building.
Old courthouse.
The old course, thank you. Yeah. And then where the walkway would be is where City Garden is in St. Louis, and it's fairly to scale, which is really awesome. There's one that's going to be of like
Art Hill.
Art Hill, yeah. It's going to be like Art Hill
which
in
is
the fall.
our art museum here in St. Louis. And
it's in the middle of this awesome, huge forest.
And it's going to be the Selesnya Guild, based on the
Selesnya Guild, yeah.
And what were some of the other ones that he was saying? I know that we have a Climatron in our botanical gardens that was going to be based on the Simic Guild.
Yeah. I think the head of police quarters, the police headquarters is the Demir Guild. I don't remember if that was
no.
that.
We figured out Demir. I was talking to Jason about this. We figured out a really cool place for it. I know that the zoo is gonna be based off of Gruul.
Yeah.
The old cathedral.
That's a metallic
basilica.
mimic on pirate, by the way, guys.
The old cathedral basilica is going to be based off of the Orzhov.
Which is awesome. The
Yep.
Basilica is one of the cooler churches in the Midwest, I would say. All right. Are you playing any side events out there right now, Lance? I know most of the fun I have at GPs is just hanging out with vendors and playing like random drafts and like commander games and stuff like that. A lot of fun people over there. That is a kite sail freebooter. Takes the removal. Takes the removal.
Contempt. Yep.
Also, it's a 2/3 flyer.
And what do we got? Gearhulk
Torrential,
Swamp.
double scarab.
Double Scarab God.
Awkward. Admiring the foiling.
the invocation. Yep.
Because or maybe he can't read it. It's one of those two.
What card is this?
I don't recognize this. That's really annoying. I didn't see another removal spell in hand. He doesn't have one in the grave, so that freebooter's staying around. He also knows the coast is clear. Sure, at 6 mana. At 6 mana, we start.
What, 5 mana? Next turn, he
No, for torrential.
The Scarab God, I mean.
Yeah. There's all flying threats, though.
Yeah.
Like, this is quite a quick clock. And Scarab God has no targets to hit.
Yep.
Becomes progressively worse. So we're just cycling a sensor. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, there's usually a GP in Indy. It feels like every 18 months, so there will definitely be another opportunity for you there. Actually,
There's
be
another
yearly
GP coming out. GP Memphis is the end of February. It's just a
Memphis is a great
month
one
and
to
a week
play.
away. That's only 4.5 hours from
Louisville has a lot.
Louisville.
Louisville's also a great site. Actually, I think Indy gets one every year now because the Indianapolis Convention Center is just so great
and
for
nice.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of the larger convention centers.
It really
in
makes
Louis.
me sad that Missouri has the laws that it does, that we can't have something here in St. Louis. Because we've got a big convention center. We could easily do it. And we used to get stuff. And same with Kansas City. Kansas City would
be great for one. St. Louis is a huge market for it. And Kansas City, not as big, but like a very dedicated
and they have a nice
following.
convention center, too.
Yeah.
So it's very unfortunate that Missouri has the laws that it does.
That is the 2/1 flyer that turns creatures
into toads.
Did he counter that first Scarab God? I think he did. This game's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game is just over then. 6 on the ground does not do anything here.
Unless he has a Bantu's Last Reckoning, he can play right now and hope it resolves. Yeah. This game is done. Or maybe he has a Vraska's Contempt. He can exile the freebooter to get the other one back, gain some life, to stall.
Exile freebooter to exile freebooter.
Yeah. Oh, this will force his hand if he had anything. Nope, that's game.
That's game. We're done here. Notice that KC hasn't been hit at all yet. Looks like a clean sweep to me. Yeah. We would call this flawless victory. I was actually playing Tekken in between rounds with some people, and I played up against a 8 to 10-year-old kid, and he decimated me. And he performed what just happened here, a flawless victory.
Yep. And so now what's interesting is since Casey's all flyers, normally against a kind of more aggressive deck, you'd bring in life gain, and we've seen Dan play Gifted Aetherborns before, but those are on the ground.
They don't do enough.
That does nothing for him. Glint Sleeve Siphoner is not really anything. Negates don't really help him. You can make an argument for Jace's defeat. That'll counter some of these flyers. That could counter a Hostage Taker. Not that he really cares about that. And bring in this Essence Extraction to gain some life. But that's all he's really got.
I think he definitely bring in the Essence Extraction too, because it's another removal spell.
Yeah. You bring in the defeat and the Essence Extraction, but that's it. That's 2 cards out of his 15 in the sideboard that really actually help him against this aggro kind of build. And I don't think of anything else really gets him there.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for Gonti, because although that won't block anything on the ground, that could take one of his flyers, and he could use one of his own flyers against him as a blocker.
Yeah. I also am seeing a 4 Sensor deck. Sorry, he's playing a 4 of Sensor in this list. Sensor on the play is so much better than Sensor on the draw. Because censoring your 2-drop is so big.
So huge, yes.
Yeah, censoring your... The Sensor only becomes really relevant on the draw on like turn 3 and 4 when it's trying to censor like a 3-drop or a 4-drop or
Yep.
something like that. It's a lot riskier. You're also missing really vital turns when you know you're censoring the next spell your opponent plays.
Yep.
Especially with a 2-drop heavy deck like this, really good.
Yep.
So like for this game, if I'm Daniel, I keep censoring. If I win, obviously.
Yep.
If I win, I pull the censors out.
I agree. But he needs to win.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Casey showed up to the event late. We do not have his deck registration list. I have no idea what's in his sideboard.
Nope. I'm going to assume
I'm going to assume Duress.
16 swamps.
16?
Exactly.
That 15 card sideboard?
Yes.
How dare you?
Damn. No, I have no idea what's in the sideboard.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
I would imagine Duress.
Yeah.
And maybe a bigger removal spell like a Vraska's Contempt. Maybe.
Maybe Collective
But I
Brutality, something
can't
like that.
even know that for sure. Yeah, Collective Brutality would be good.
It would be.
Duress and do the drain.
Yeah, if only it was legal in this format.
Oh yeah, it's no longer legal. That's right. Never mind.
Sorry.
I have too much modern on the brain lately.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
I
you
keep
play
Duress in
Commander,
my
right?
I do.
Who's your Sultai commander, or do you just own one of every Sultai commander?
Ugh.
Do you just play a different? Do you have 22 Sultai?
So here's the thing. Commander is something I've only just recently got into.
Okay.
Because I'm typically just way too spiky and competitive,
That's
and
fair.
I've never gotten into it.
You just have to let go.
I have a lot of my friends that are not in the competitive Magic scene like we have here.
Yeah.
That are just like my friends outside of my Magic world.
Yeah.
And they wanted to learn, and I'm not going to teach them Modern.
Don't
Like,
do
that's
that.
just not going to happen. One, I
Yeah.
don't have extra decks that they can borrow.
Yeah.
I'm not that rich.
Yeah. Pauper's
remotely.
too complicated. Like
And two,
standard's too
Modern, Pauper,
expensive.
like, even Standard. Like, this is way too many interactions to
Yeah.
make you
So
memorize
instead,
cards.
you gave them the entire history of Magic the
Yeah,
Gathering.
so instead I was like, all right, well, we'll just do Commander. It's already in and of itself a casual format. They can have more fun with it.
Turn
you know,
2. Ooh, he put the glint sleeve siphoners in.
Oh, there you go. And we can just get a whole bunch of decks for $35 a pop, the pre-constructeds, and go. And that's what I did. So I bought the Wizard Inala deck. I bought the Dragon deck, the Dragon. I bought the what was the Chaos deck 4-color? Dude has Cascade.
Yidris.
Yidris, I have that, and I have the Group Hug deck with the 4-color everything but black. What are their names? It's 2 guys, something and something of Melius.
Kaitai.
Yeah. So I bought those 4, and those are like all for my friends. And then I was like, oh, I kind of want to make one, so I made a Loro, Life Gain Control. And right now, I actually just yesterday put in a huge order on TCG Player. I'm going to start building Get Drug Monster, Dredge combo.
As competitive.
As my competitive, and then after that, the plan is to build a Tassiger. So I'll still
Nice.
get my Sultai love.
All right.
It's
Just so.
There's things that need
That's
to
a
happen
gifted
first.
Aetherborn, by the way. So I like that. My go-to competitive list is Queen Marchesa stacks.
Queen Marchesa,
Yes.
the Mardu.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you get to play white, and white stack pieces are amazing, Commander.
Sure.
I also run the Academy Rector combo. So
Okay.
I play Academy Rector, and I have a couple of one-shot enchantments as a gifted Aetherborn.
Uh-huh.
Jason. So, is that for modern? Lance?
Yeah. Lance, are you talking vampires like in standard, or are you talking vampires for modern?
Or Popper?
Or what format are you talking about there when you're mentioning vampires in mono green?
We're just curious.
Yep.
Is that a Hornswoggle? What is that spell?
No, that's the new one. It's the rare from Rivals. It's cancel.
Cancel, and
but
it's
the
1
up,
mana
it
with
has
raid.
the raid upside of where it's
Brackets
just-
orders or whatever
yeah,
it's called.
it's Beckett's orders.
Beckett's orders. So, yeah, Marchesa stacks
Mhm.
is my commander list.
Okay.
Because
Well, you have the Moonfolk.
that's not my competitive list. That's my I'm here to have fun list.
Oh, it's still pretty competitive.
Okay, that's my I'm here to have fun with people who are also like
Magic players.
not hyper casual.
Yeah.
Um, That's that one, and then my like super casual lists are like Sasaya. I play a lot. I have a cycle of Kamigawa commanders.
Mono green in modern. So is it like elves or is it like some kind of mono green devotion?
There's mono green devotion. There's mono
There
green
is.
stompy. There's
There's
like
Stompy.
there's like leatherback Baloths and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Play Garrick and stuff like that.
Untapped forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crater
Cast
Hoof
Overrun every
Behemoth
once in a
or
while.
Whatever. Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
But no, I have a cycle of Kamigawa commanders.
Okay.
I know that's a lot. I know I
Yeah.
just said a lot there. But the red one is Zozu the Punisher,
Okay.
which is whenever a land enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to that player's
Fatal
land's
push
controller.
here on
The 2/1 flyer.
the Frog Maker.
My blue one is
Get in.
Patron of the Moonfolk.
This is actually looking really good for Dan. As
Yeah,
a quick aside,
Dan looks really
because
far
he's
ahead.
doing now 6-point life swings a turn because
Yeah.
he's gaining and he's keeping the board clear. He's able to make energy, so
Draw
he's
extra
drawing
cards. Yeah.
Like
he's got it as Contra. Yeah, this is the difference between
Yep.
being on the play and on
Yep.
the draw in a tempo matchup that Casey's playing.
Mhm.
My green one is Sasaya, who makes all of your lands tap for exponential mana,
Mhm.
because it's your lands tap for however much mana, that much mana being this land of the same name. My white one is Runetail. I've literally never pulled it out
Mhm.
because Runetail is super boring. And then my black one is Tojiro Umezawa, who he of the Jite, who is known as Deathcaster Mage.
Yeah.
He has Snapcaster's ability, but only available when a creature has died this turn. So if you like play it and then you play Fatal Push on something, you then can immediately cast the Fatal Push again. Super sweet.
Is it repeatable or is it only the turn he comes into play?
No, it's all day.
So
It's
whenever
a static ability he has.
Oh, that seems good.
It's so fun to play. You just play infinite removal spells. All your removal spells are double. You just play twice as much removal as anybody else. It's
Yeah, that
great.
seems fine.
Love it. So those are my Kamigawa commanders, and they're varying levels of competitiveness. And then I used to play a lot of Commander. I don't play as much anymore. Pauper and Modern have been taking up more of my time recently.
Gotcha. Bane of the Bala God. Was that one of the Eldrazi?
Bane of Balaged. Bane of Balaged is
Yeah, it was one of the Eldrazi.
Oh god, I remember that guy. He has
uncommons.
Annihilator, but not
Yeah, it's
Annihilator.
Annihilator, but not Annihilator.
He was not a fun
This
card
thing was
to play.
great in limited.
Yeah, not a fun card to play against
No.
Unlimited. Oh, he's a 7/5. It's fine.
No.
No, it's still painful. Sounds sweet. Oh man, so there's just we're seeing chump blocks now out of Casey. Not what a tempo deck wants to be doing.
Not at all.
And Casey scoops it up. Yeah, didn't draw a relevant card.
All right, we're going to game 3.
Man, that Glint Sleeve Siphoner seemed real good with the Menace.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 3/1, right? Menace.
2-1,
2/1 Menace. Still great.
which is still fine.
Yeah. Menace is a sneaky good keyword. You're just like,
Yeah,
it really promotes terrible blocks.
it really does. It's weird how we've gone from fear to intimidate to now menace as this kind of black ability to make it difficult to block.
Black,
And I
red. Yeah.
black and red gets it sometimes too, but it's primarily meant to be in black.
Yeah.
And I still always don't know how I feel about it. Like, fear was unfair,
Fear was way too good.
and
Intimidate was fear, but with artifacts.
yeah, which is still too good.
Yeah.
And even menace feels sometimes too good.
But like, what's next? Like, we're not gonna go Shulk or Skulk. That was
No,
terrible.
Skulk was awful. Yeah, and I don't know if you can. I think menace is as good as it's gonna get, but
I mean, it promotes really terrible blocks.
mhm.
But
but that's the idea behind
Yeah.
it in the first place.
I like Menace. I think it's a keyword we've had for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It just hasn't existed, like as a name.
Yeah.
We've seen cards with like more than Menace, like it needs 3 creatures to block, and those are just dumb. Like they're impossible. one of my least favorite things is it has to be blocked by only one creature. I hate that. I really like having, because like Menace is like, hey, I'm attacking. You can't just put one body in front of it, but you still get to choose your blocks. That's why I like it. It's like you can still get this thing dead if you want to,
Yeah.
or you're just gonna let it ride.
Yep.
Now, obviously, Menace with a combat trait, that's a totally different story. That's one of the bigger blowouts. And
Sure.
You lose 2 creatures. You're behind on board for the rest of the game.
Mhm.
Like, that's really brutal. But I don't know. I like Menace.
Yep.
Like, I'm just like, what would it get? What would be its replacement?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there is one.
Yeah. Planeswalk. Bring
Bring back Landwalk.
back Landwalk. Legendary Landwalk. There's a in Kamigawa. There's like a 6-mana 6/2 that has Legendary Landwalk, and it's hysterical in Commander. It's just everyone always has Legendary Lands in Commander,
Yeah.
and you're just like, hey, deal with that. Like, just put it on the battlefield very quietly. And you're like, like throw a rancor on it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, sure, it's dead to shock. Doesn't
Who
matter.
cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really distraught that the Patriots are now going to win this game.
Yes, that's a pretty sad.
It's less than 2 minutes left.
I'm actually interested in the Eagles game more. I think it would be really cool that
I think it's really cool that they're both backup quarterbacks that have come in
as a siren lookout
to
is being
save
played.
the day. Yeah. And they're both ex-Rams quarterbacks.
Oh god, that's hilarious. I'm more in the camp where I'm really excited for. So my dad recently moved to Philadelphia, so I'm really excited for him because like he gets to root for a winner. And
Yep, I remember Desolation Twin.
the 10-10
was
that
a
makes another
bomb.
10-10.
That was a bomb in limited
They
as
just
well.
had to get it. Strength of the Cedars. Wild Heart Invoker.
Yep. If you can mono green and get some Nykthos going or something and generate a whole bunch of mana and get a twin out
works.
really quick, that seems good.
2 creatures, gotta deal with it. And then I think it would be really awesome if a team got a home game on the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's never happened.
never happened.
Yeah.
Never happened.
I
think
want the
it'd be awesome.
Vikings to win as well for that very reason.
But like also, it'd be cool. The other team won simply because. Is he gonna unsummon and then replay this or something? He is.
No, he's countering it because this was on attacks, so now that counter just costs blue.
Oh, nice.
That was the raid counter.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Tempo be strong.
I almost wonder if that was. I guess that was worth it because he still gets to keep his Storm Tamer up, which he can later then sack that to protect another creature.
Yeah, I think that's why he did it. I think that's why it was trying to get Fatal pushed as well.
Cycle. Draws a card.
I mean, Daniel's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got Search for Escanta up there.
I still don't believe Favorable Winds is in Casey's deck at this point.
It is. I swear I saw it.
I feel like you're lying to me.
And the Patriots are in the Super Bowl.
Good for them.
Stop it.
All right,
Let's try this again. Let's try this before combat. Oh no.
No,
He's still wait. Let them swing. But Essence Extraction, gain some life.
I would sack it.
Oh my God! Does he have another one? Oh, unsummon. Unsummoned his own guy, so he can't gain life.
Yeah, that's
totally fine.
Oh man, he did that main phase too. And he did that at the
On his turn.
On his turn. That's real slow. I mean, it's just so hard for Daniel to deal with right now. He basically has to get rid of that stupid Siren Lookout before he can touch the 2-1.
the other one before the Siren
Unless he
Lookout.
board wipes, but like,
Yep.
I feel like we have to be looking at something that's a counterspell or something like that at this point.
And if I'm Casey, even if I have other threats, I don't think
I'm not
playing 'em
deploying
out.
anything.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. Oh, okay. Well,
All right, more protection.
more protection, sure. I mean, you open yourself a little bit there, but you're also you don't turn the clock down any.
Mhm.
All right, we're impulsing. That's fine. Let him do it.
Let's see if we can see anything of his options. Can't tell at all.
I have a list you might be interested in if you ever like playing aggro in
I hate
modern.
aggro.
Oh, do you like casting spell quellers?
It's okay.
Okay. Do you like tribal spirits?
Nope, we're out.
5 color
Nope.
tribal spirits.
No, we're good.
Cavernous souls.
We're good.
Aether vials.
Nah.
Unclaimed territories.
Nah.
Strangleroot Geist.
Nah.
Did you know Bloodghast is a spirit?
Yeah, it's vampire spirit.
Vampire spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah. No?
No.
No? Okay. I was just asking. Bonte's Last Reckoning. This has got to
This
draw a
is-
counter.
Absolutely what he needed. If Casey doesn't have a counter,
I mean, if he
This
does,
is
it's
fine.
game over, right?
yeah, if he does, it's game over.
Wow. All right.
And that's the downside to having played that extra Storm Tamer
Yeah.
Siren.
I mean, it's not like a hard fast clock, but like
At least with
it
something.
didn't. So it didn't add anything to the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's really aggressive. I feel overextending is such an easy.
It's such a common mistake, but it's so easily avoidable as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's soup. Ryan's got quite the arsenal of names for his decks. Yes. Yes, he does. I would agree with you, Yosef. He does. That's a lot of lands Casey's
Mhm.
drawn.
The big boys Boros was the result of a
Me.
topic of conversation where we actually went up to Ryan and told him that red with cream wasn't good enough.
Yeah. We asked him to step his game up.
Yeah.
Kitesail
Good
Freebooter has to get countered. It does.
And Dan is actually holding a disallow as well for whatever follow-ups Casey will have on a future turn. So now this is actually starting to come back
Yeah, this is looking
in a
bad.
big way. He can flip this as Kanta now.
It's to impulse whenever he wants to.
Mhm. And he kept that card on top, whatever it was.
I think Casey's losing it.
Yep.
What do you need? Like a Scarab God that somehow slipped through, like, which isn't going to happen.
Nope. I think playing out that extra Storm Tamer was a big problem. And we even said, like, right before it, like, if we were him, don't play anything else to the board.
Yeah, it's like, so one of the points that I was about to bring up, and it's really easy. I think this is one of the bigger mistakes you can make in
Mhm.
competitive Magic, is overextending.
Yep.
Because if you get punished on overextending, you lose the game, or you put yourself so
Far behind.
far behind. When you play a creature and it does not accelerate your clock, and by clock I mean how many turns it takes to attack to kill your opponent, you're not doing anything.
Yes.
Except wasting a resource, giving your opponent more information, and possibly leading yourself to a blowout.
Yep.
It's a huge, like, if you're winning and your opponent's struggling and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and you are looking at more creatures that would help you win more, well, winning more is still winning.
Yes. It's like Vin Diesel said, doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning.
Yeah, exactly. I respect that. Dimir control, we're looking at more like hard counter permission with Scarab God as
You're
a
looking
closer.
at the blue-black control list that was at the Worlds,
Yeah, like-
essentially a few months back. This is pretty much Torrential Gearhulk, Scarab God.
No chupas, no
counterspells.
hostages.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually been that updated for Rivals.
Yeah.
And no hostage takers, not even in the sideboard.
Mhm.
In fact, now that I'm looking at his list, I literally don't even think there's a single card from Rivals of Ixalan in
There's
the
not.
list. His only creatures are the Scarab God and Torrential Gearhulk, and he has Gaunties and Glit Sleeve Siphoners in the sideboard, and that's it.
I feel like this deck loses hilariously bad to tokens.
Yep,
Like, just could not beat tokens.
I think so.
Like, they go Bonte's Last Reckoning, you're like, that's fine, make 40 more tokens.
Yep.
You're like, oh yeah, that's a thing. We'll see. That's a lot of 4 drops.
Well, there's actually already a deck that kind of exists like that. So if you go to MTG Goldfish right now, the #1 deck in the meta is Grixis Midrange.
That makes sense.
And they call it Grixis Midrange. It's essentially Grixis Control, but they qualify it as midrange because of the number of creatures it has.
I mean, all decks are mid-range now that all of our spells are creatures.
Yeah, right. But it plays a Hostage Taker. It plays Chupacabra. It plays Scarab God. It plays Gear Hulk. It plays
Scarab God just
Whirler
resolved, by the way, guys.
Virtuoso. And it plays Gonti, and like all in the main. It's
a lot of creatures.
It is Grixis midrange is what they call it, and it's like 12 creatures, but they're all anywhere between mid-range to control type creatures. So it's pretty much Colonel, exactly what you're saying, just splashing red, and it's only for, they play, I think, 1 or 2 Whirler Virtuosos in the main. They play one of a Braid, and I forget one other red spell in the main as well.
Ooh, Hostage Taker.
Ooh.
That's the best possible draw. And he has mana to cast the Scarab God. Disallows the spell.
Disallowing the
not
spell.
Not the triggered ability.
Yeah. Mr. Take Your Girl.
Oh, second Hostage Taker.
Oh, that will get the job done.
Yeah, and
so
does he have the
I looked
mana?
up the
He
list
only has
here. Grixis Midrange,
Chandra made it.
Siphoner, Whirler Virtuosos, Ravenous Chupacabra, Glorybringer, Scarab God, Torrential Gear Hulk, Chandra, Fatal Push, Abrade, Essence Scatter, Harness Lightning, Supreme Will, Glimmer of Genius, Vraska's Contempt. I've also seen ones that run Gontis in the main. It's kind of exactly what you're talking about, Colonel.
And Yosef, as you just said, some of the builds are also playing those Glorybringers and Chandras. Well, unfortunately for Casey, I don't think he can pull out anything here.
No, this isn't getting there.
But yeah, so when you overextend...
Mr. Take Your Girl didn't get there. The second Mr. Take Your Girl didn't get there. And Dan is just coming back.
Real fast. So, what I was saying, when you accelerate, like when you overextend like that, and then you get board wiped or answered,
then it's just nothing.
Your opponent hasn't used as many resources as you in most cases, and at best you're at parity, and at worst you are now very far behind because you don't have.
I mean, look at the exchange we just saw.
Yeah.
Dan 3-for-1 to Casey.
Could have just been a 2-for-1.
And it could have just been a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and like sure, maybe that spell gets disallowed, but then that means that first
That's still another card resource.
So now we're looking at a 4-for-2.
Yeah.
Which is like a 2-for-2 and a 2-for-1 and a 3-for-2. They all might sound very similar, but they play hugely different, especially based on what decks you're playing.
Sure.
Like Burn cannot afford doing a 3-for-3.
No.
That's why Collective Brutality is so good. 3-for-3's Burn.
Yep.
But because Burn says I need to resolve 7 spells, and when I do, you lose.
Yep.
And when I 3-for-3 Burn, that means they now have to resolve 10 spells.
Yep.
That's 3 more cards. That's 3 more turns.
Yep.
Minimum.
Yep.
When you allow yourself to get like these worse numbers, like a 3-for-1 instead of a 2-for-1, you're handing away basically turns. You're basically handing.
And that is the game.
Yep.
Casey scoop phases. Dan's going to take the W here and win in our finals. But yeah, to finish your point, it's like giving someone a time walk.
Yeah.
In a sense, you're reversing the game, multiple turns for your opponent, and not for you.
Yeah. I would just say like if one thing to always be looking out, especially if you want to like get better, especially at competitive level Magic, avoid overextending. Avoid doing anything more than you have to win.
Yeah, think of it this way. If I have, we'll look at the days of like Abzan. If I had a Siege Rhino on the board, the other person has nothing. Even if I have other stuff in hand that I could play out, if I'm just swinging with the Siege Rhino and they're not removing it, and I'm still getting in,
I don't
why
see
do
what's
anything?
wrong with this. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason to play out because there's already a lethal threat on the board that your opponent has to answer before they even need to do anything else. Like if they can't deal with this one Siege Rhino, they already lose. So why put out more stuff?
Yeah. And when they do answer that Siege Rhino, then deploy more stuff.
Yeah.
say, okay, now answer this. Can you? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that's big part.
All right. Well, thank you everyone today who's tuned in, who was able to follow the stream, who's able
Yeah.
to watch any
Appreciate
part
you
of
watching.
it. Yeah, we greatly appreciate it. Congrats to Daniel Green for pulling it off with some blue-black Demir control today. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Moonbase Market. A couple events coming up. We always have weekly events. We got Modern on Tuesdays.
Popper on Wednesdays.
Yep. Legacy
Friday Night Magic.
Thursdays,
Nope, it's
or
Sunday now.
It's now on Sundays.
Friday Night Magic, where we do Modern Draft, Legacy, basically whatever people want to do, we'll do.
Sure.
And then we have a big half